For those of you that don't know, this YouTube channel started with this 65 Mustang build between me and my son, and a lot of people ask about what the status of it was, people that have been following it that long. And it's still up and running. You can see the old girl here is going down the track in all of her glory with the repairs partially completed. And it runs good, drives good. He drives it around everywhere. We drove it to the track that day. And this was just a few months back, I think maybe back in the fall of last year. But for those of you asking, it's running good, and just need to get a repaint done on it, as you can see.
Oh, Casey boy, check it out. Look what's cutting in here.
All right, so this is a sign I'm cutting out for one of my local customers, a repeat customer business here. And we're making this out of 50-52 90 thousandths aluminum, or at least the letters are getting cut out of that. And then, so look at the nesting. This is how the auto nesting on the laser cam arranged it all. And you can see the cut quality here. Pretty nice. There's a very, very fine burr on aluminum that you can just flake off with your fingernail, or it comes off easily if you run it through the belt sander. So just doing a little grinding on the bare aluminum, and this has a back plate that's going to be jet black. You'll see that here in a minute. And again, all the letters were and features were individually mounted. So use some 440 stainless hardware here, since this was going to be outside. And here's a look at the what they sent me. The top is just like a scanned-in image, and the bottom is what I sent them back, and that's what I drew up. I got the fonts matched pretty closely, pretty close match on all of it there. And you can see the finished product. They were happy with it, and that worked out well. A while back, I had to rent one of these SkyTrack machines, and I was afraid I wouldn't be able to handle driving it, and so I had to bring in a professional heavy equipment operator and forklift driver here to handle this for me. So, and it's worked out that she's become a full-time employee here, driving forklifts and handling lots of stuff around the shop. But we'll show a little more about that in a little bit. All right, so here is a very large project, at least for me, that is, that I used the press brake on, and it called for having this channelized border around it that is going to be ended up being around 9 feet long and about 5 feet tall. So I used the press brake, and this is where I could have used a larger press brake, but I was able to make it work with this one by sectioning it and welding it together. But you see the brake here. This is actually the first real job I did on the brake before I sold it, actually the only one. And as I mentioned in other videos, I've got a new brake coming, and even it's not going to be the permanent one, because the one I really want, I can't fit in my shop. My shop roll-up door is too short for it. But so yeah, we got the CNC backstop programmed for this one to get the legs to go correctly on it, and you can see this channel section that I was able to bend up on it. And here's just some video on the laser of the pieces getting cut before I took them over and bent them on the brake. All right, here is a look at those channelized pieces that were cut, and I just did an initial grind on them. I was just showing right there where I messed up in the CAD and didn't cut that 45 all the way through, so I had to manually cut those. And you can see the fit up there, looking pretty good. And here's a look at the setup I used, using the fireball squares there to get those welded up. And I could have used one of those Jimbo table extension deals that he made in his last video, because these were too big for my table setup, but I made it work. You saw the pieces I had clamped on. And then here's a few shots of the laser cutting the flags out that are going to go inside the border, and you'll see how it all comes together shortly. Again, this is 5052 aluminum, 90 thousandths thick. The laser, I mean, you can see the fast rapids on this, but it doesn't really cut it that fast. I think it's about a little under 200 inches a minute is the cut speed I can get. And then here you're going to see it do some engraving, some reference lines for masking. A lot of times I actually just cut those as an open contour, but in this case I made it all just one solid piece of aluminum and used the engraving to do the masking, and that worked out well. And by the way, I'm working with Brad at Second to None Fabrication. He's been a long time friend of mine, does some really cool metal art, similar to what I do, but in a lot of cases his quality and so forth is actually better than mine. So Second to None Fabrication, he's on Instagram, Facebook, and he's got his own website you can check out as well. But you can see the laser cutting out some holes, and those holes were for some frames that are going to get mounted on this. You'll see at the end here. If you're new to metal art and you want to learn how to do these crazy grinds to get it to look good after it's painted, and of course the killer paint jobs that we're able to produce out of this shop, check out my website, ramseycustoms.com. Got videos out there that are 20 bucks that will take you through all the steps involved to learn how to do this.
What I want to do is get a couple of helpers and get this lined up on the wall and placed where you want it, and use some tape or some way to indicate where the top of your flag is going to be once it's on the wall. And then what we've got here is some angle iron that's got some holes that are threaded, drilled, and tapped that are going to allow you to mount that. So once you get your line scribed for the top of this, you're going to want to mount your angle iron on the wall. We didn't put any holes in the flat part of the angle iron to allow you to drill the holes where you need them to get them into your studs, into the structure of your wall. So once you get that on the wall, and there'll be two pieces on both sides at the top, two pieces on both sides at the bottom. Once you get the top part done, you want to take this, set your flag up on the wall, and you can see the threaded hole comes in the slot there, and we've given you a little bit of slot to allow a little bit of play back and forth. And then you're going to finish this off with a 1/4-20 button head stainless nut, and those will tighten down on there and give you a nice, finish. We'll have washers and the hardware and everything to, get that mounted. So when you get that done and test fitted, you want to mark the bottom, and then you repeat the process for the bottom, and you'll have another set of angle irons that'll go from the bottom. So you'll have a total of 8 screws in total, 4 at the top, 4 in the bottom, to make sure that it's held firmly on the wall.
All right, so here is the flag loaded up on the truck. Our forklift driver, Chick, did a phenomenal job of setting it right up in there. No problem at all. It was an oversized pallet, as you'll be able to see here. Forklift driver, Chick, had no problem handling any of it. The one thing I found about, once I've been working with her for a while though, is that I'm used to kind of being the boss of the shop and, telling people what to do. I've had some difficulty, a little bit of pushback if I start barking out orders and things. This one here's a little bit of a feisty one.
What state are you from?
Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, guys, I want to wrap up this video with showing you a couple of new things to the shop here, just some small tools. You can see this is our Dimide clamp. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We've had this thing here for quite some time, and I've been a big fan of theirs and worked with them
They've actually given me some plasma cutting work to make these bases that they sell as an accessory, so you can mount those on your Certiflat or pretty much all the fixture tables that have the correct bolt spacing. You can mount them there, as you see. So you can use this like a vise, or or you could take it out and use it like a clamp. This style and size here has, I believe, a 9,000 pound clamping force that the specs are on that. And they've recently come up with a new version, and this new version is going to be on a Kickstarter campaign that kicks off on July the 14th. And if you check the link of this video, or check the description of this video, I'll have a link there to the Kickstarter campaign if you want to take advantage of the price point. And if you purchase after the Kickstarter campaign's over, I believe the price is going to be $49 for this. And then so this is what you'll be getting. Little information on their the new quarter series clamp, impact rated, modular, easy to use. Some specs and details about it there. So let's take a look at it. I'll let you read about the details and the specs on this one. But as you can see, it's constructed very similar to the original one, just a little bit smaller. And so we got a T-handle with a detent in it. So there that is. And I believe this is also rated for an impact, if you want to connect an impact there. It actually looks like it will slip right into your quarter-inch impact drive, but let's check that out and see. So if this will fit in there, and it does. Well, let's take this off before it becomes a flying weapon and we hurt somebody with it. Pretty clever, pretty handy there. And you can see it's locked into our quarter-inch drive, quarter-inch impact rated. Pretty nice, pretty small package, pretty cool form factor. And I don't know if this is going to be available or come standard, but they included some replaceable soft jaws. That you can, that you can replace your jaws with if you're working with softer materials. It's aluminum soft jaw there, if you want to do that. So go check the link of the video or the description of the video for the link to where you can get these on the Kickstarter campaign. The campaign kicks off on the 14th of July. Again, you'll be able to buy these after that, but you won't be able to get the introductory offer. And if you notice, the jaws have the detent in them as well, so you should be able to pop those out pretty quickly and easily. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. So the detent ball that you see on that supports the jaw, so you just push that out and slip your new one in. I actually got the wrong one for this particular one, but you get the idea. Alright guys, go check it out, and appreciate the guys at Dimide for sending these to me. I'll definitely you'll see these in use in the shop in the future when we have projects for those. Thanks, guys. All right, most of you that's been following along on the shop for some time kind of know the layout of my shop. You know, I've got a Miller MIG welder, the HTP Invertig TIG welder that I use all the time in videos and just for fabrication in the shop. I've got three, all these are on different circuits. I've got three 50 amp plugs for welders. The milling machine right there uses the same style plug. I got three of them there, and I've got another one right here along that wall. You know, the panel in my shop is right there, so when I was pulling all the electrical for this, it was just easy to add those. And then I've got one right here as well in the middle of the shop that's on a strain relieved stretch cord drop down, and you see I've got my angle grind or belt grinder on that, and you see the yeah, this is like a hazard waiting to happen, but I'd hate to get that tangled up in that. But anyway, the purpose of this is I want to show you this one. This is a 50 amp welder style cord that you can use if you need to, you know, if your shop layout is similar to mine, where, you know, you got your welders along the wall, but, you know, maybe you got a big project like the one I just showed you in this video. I actually used that where I was set up out in the open area and used this to connect it up. I actually used mine, or the one I previously had. I've shown this in videos in the past. And so there's the one I actually used, but now I have another one that these fine people sent me. So I would check the link of the video here. I will have a description where you can buy this on Amazon. I think I'll have a discount code that I can put there as well to save you a little bit of money. So if you have a need like I do to occasionally weld where you don't have your, you know, good access to your plug, this is very well made. The connectors are nice and thick and beefy, and they're kind of rubberized so that if you throw your cord down or whatever, you sling the end of it, that you got some protection from that. So these guys have been patient with me. I've had that for quite some time. Go check the link of the description for Amazon if you want to purchase one of those.